Good morning. It's Sunday, June 29th, and today's the day we're going to cook our sassafras bow. So I'm not a morning person, but it's going to get really hot later. It's 7 o'clock. I'm going to light the coals, and we're probably going to start cooking around 7:30. After we're done with the sassafras bow, I think this bow, the last sassafras bow I made, was unbacked. I still can shoot it today, and I owe it to the fire hardening and the micro tillering. And this is the second sassafras bow that I'm making. I couldn't pass up. It was a nice straight log, fairly straight log sapling when I picked it up. And it usually takes around 2 hours, but we go by the color, and I believe the sassafras took longer. I believe it took like 3 hours because we have to pay attention if the wood smokes. If it's too close to the coals, we have to raise it. So I believe the last one cooked for like 3 hours. You know what? The last sassafras bow I might even cook twice. I'm not sure. You'll have to look at my video. But that's the goal. Cook it for at least 3 hours today. And then we have a short bow we're gonna cook later on too. We're gonna cook a 58-inch hickory bow that's gonna be sinew back. We're gonna cook that later. This has been up here for about 10-15 minutes. Just checking the clamps. We want to keep the clamps snug. You don't want to over tighten it or crack anything. You just want to keep them snug. So the alignment of the bow, if you aligned it a little bit with the heat gun to put it on the back set, it'll stay that way. This one's really loose. Here we go. They all took a few turns. Now how we adjust the heat is Keith Shannon came up with this. You can't measure from the bottom to the coals because too many factors such as wind and temperature affect it. But if you take your palm and you put it underneath and you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to raise it a little bit. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Side's got to get raised. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Keith Shannon came up with this, and I don't know how he did, but it works. If you put your palm right under the limb, 1, 2, 3, and you can't hold it there, you got to use common sense. You're not going to burn your hand. But if you go 1, 2, and it's too hot to hold, then you got to raise it. That's what happened at first. It was too hot. I raised it. And if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, well, then you got to lower it. The other important thing that you need when you fire harden is a stick. And here, let's show you. Any kind of stick. This is a scrap piece of hickory. And what you could do is you could check the coals. You can level them out. Make them in contour with the limbs if you have to. If you have to add coals in a spot, you can add coals. And something I just want to bring to your attention, when you first start this and the coals are catching, it'll be smoky. And you just have to make sure that the smoke, like here, is coming off of the coals and not the wood. Okay, and I did look it up, and the last sassafras bow, I did fire harden twice after I tilled it. It was very thick. I took down a lot of material to lighten the weight. And I fire hardened it twice because it had the slightest bit of string follow. And it shoots fine to this day. So this one, I got floor tilled the way I want it. I'm going to try making a little heavier bow, so I'm not going to take off that much more material. I completed a sassafras bow with the natural back before. This one's going to be a little heavier. And I think we'll get away with fire hardening it just one time. I'm going to check this constantly, but I'll show you what it looks like in a half hour. Though time isn't really that important, we have a 7:30 start time. And this has actually been up on the jig probably 10 minutes prior while the coals were catching. Had a little smoking going on under the limb here, so we're going to knock around some of the coals. Get a little lower, because that's the only spot that seems like it's smoking. Okay, we're going to put it back down. These clamps were tightened, snugged up twice already. We're at that half-hour mark. I snugged up the clamps. I'm going to pick it up so you can look at it. And then we're going to knock off ash and see if we need to add some coals too at that half-hour mark. From the riser going to the right, down to the tip, we're starting to get some color. From the riser going to the left, we're starting to get some color at that half-hour mark, which is a good thing. Now, where the riser is on this fire hardening jig, I have less coals. But what I do, so there's less coals, there's like a space there with just a couple of coals underneath. But what I do is when I want to knock the ash off, I can kind of drag the coals down towards that middle spot there. Okay, down to the spot, and then drag them back. So I have a place to move the coals to make sure the ash is knocked off good. Okay. I know it's only been a half hour, but what we're going to do is we're going to add coals. And then we have to pay attention when we add the new coals will be smoking. And then what we have to do is make sure that the wood's not smoking, that's all. And like I said, time isn't important. The minimum always usually is like 2 hours. But I usually go a little longer than 2 hours because of the time it takes to knock ash, add coals to catch. And then when you put this bow lower to get it to start cooking again, and you have the coals on, you got to watch. Because as the coals catch, they're going to be smoking. You want to make sure the wood don't smoke. And as the coals get hotter, you got to raise this up again. All right, you got to keep checking with your hand right under the limb for that 3 count. If it's too hot, you got to start raising it. That's all. You can see the coals are smoking, and you just have to watch that the wood don't smoke. And I already, since I lowered it, about 5 minutes into it, I had to readjust the height. I had to lift it up a little bit. So you have to closely monitor this. I'll show you what it looks like. And we got about 20 minutes left for the hour mark, and I'll show you what it looks like. We're at that hour mark. Actually, I gave it a little longer, an hour and 10 minutes, so the coals would catch, to give it some time. And we're going to raise it up, and I'm going to show you what the bottom looks like at that hour mark. At the riser going to the right, we have a nice dark color going on. I'm very pleased. I moved the clamps over 1 inch. This way, the spots underneath the clamps will get a chance to get some color and fire hardened, even though I believe that if I didn't move the clamps, you'd just have white spots and it'd be fire hardened all around. All the way down to the left, we got color, very nice. At that hour mark, I knocked off ash, I added more coals, and I'm going to keep this fire nice and hot because I have a second bow I'm going to fire harden. We're at the hour and a half mark, which is actually an hour and 40 minutes because I let it go a little longer because of the ash and the coals. I'm going to pick it up and show you what we got at that hour, 40 minutes. Starting at the riser, going to the right, we got very nice color going down. I'm very happy with how this is cooking today. Going down to the riser, going to the left. Nice color all the way down, going down to the tip. Knocked off some ash, we got it adjusted to the right temperature, and I'll show you what it looks like at about 2.5 hours. Gonna let it go a little longer. We're at that 2.5 hour mark, and I'm gonna put it on the table. Been going for 2.5 hours. We have this sassafras out here. We're gonna let it cool down, and then we're gonna take the clamps off and show you what it looks like. Right here we had a little smoke coming off the riser. It's a little scorched, which is okay, because as we tiller it and take down some material, that'll lighten up and disappear. So we're going to let it get nice and cool, and then we're going to take the clamps off. I got my sun shirt on, a hat, it's in the 90s, it's cooking, the pool's open, I'm jumping in and out of the pool in between doing the bows to stay cool and When this is cool, I'm going to hydrate this too. Okay, now that it cooled down, I took it off the jig, and to my surprise, it has a little more backset than a jig. It had some natural backset to it when I put it on the jig, and look, I'm very happy with that. So here we are, let's lay it flat. Let's look at the wingspan. Let's check it out real close. The belly of the boat, the part that faces your belly. Let's look at the back. The back is pristine, nice back. Okay. And the most important thing that we do with this bow now is that we're going to get a soaking wet rag, or we're going to submerge it in water. We want this to get moisture in it. You don't want to leave it like it is now. It's got 0% moisture in this. You want to put some moisture back. And well, you know, when I had the honor of talking to Keith Shannon, he said as good as he was tillering, you know, he can't tiller a potato chip, and that's the idea. This will retain some backset. It will make it a little more waterproof, you know. There's nothing 100% waterproof, but it will help keep out some moisture. But after you do this, it's important. And somebody asked me, how many times do I hydrate it? Because they saw me with the soaking wet rag dripping. And I do it 3 times. So I'll soak it, maybe an hour later, I'll soak it again, you know, with a wet rag, and maybe an hour later, I'll soak it again. So here we are with this 58-inch bow that we just got done fire hardening. I'm in my beautiful pool. I just added water, fill it up so it's nice and cool. And there's no difference between taking a dripping wet rag or submerging it like this for a minute or two. Okay? Just to put some moisture back. And I'm going to do this about 2 more times, like every half hour or so. So that's it. I just wanted to show you that the most important thing is after you fire harden any bow is how you put moisture back. No difference between what I just did or taking a wet rag, dripping wet rag. It's all good. That's the end of this Sassafras fire hardening video. I suggest you go to Shannon Outdoors and get his fire hardening DVD. Allows you to, you'll learn a lot. It allows you to go into local woodlots, maybe your own backyard, get permission, cut down different whitewoods, and make bows. And you don't have to worry about getting ripped off. There's a lot of honest people out there that sell staves, but you can go harvest your own from, you know, a neighbor or somebody. Just get permission. So that's it. Every day you wake up is a great day. Go out and shoot, make a bow. Cut down a tree, shape it, fire harden it, tiller it with a yardstick, And the next video on this Sassafras will be tillering, shaping, and shooting. Thanks for watching.